Hi, my name's Kim J and I'm a volunteer for RNIB and I'm a severely visually impaired chef. Now today I'm going to show you how to make a very popular recipe. It's tandoori chicken. It's absolutely fabulous. You need a marination time of about 12 to 48 hours, so it's great for dinner parties. You can marinate it in advance and on the day just put it in the oven to cook. Now the ingredients you're going to need for this lovely aromatic starter is ground cumin, garam masala, smoked paprika. Now I've got some red food gel. We'll need the juice of 1 lemon, 3 cloves of garlic and about 2 centimetres of root ginger, all of which we're going to chop very finely. I've got about 6 portions of drumsticks here. That's chicken drumsticks. Now you could choose any jointed kind of meat, so thigh is perfect as well. Breast if you want. I've got a handful of chopped coriander. We're going to need about 250 mils of Greek yogurt, salt, black pepper, chili powder and turmeric. We're also going to need some vegetable oil, and I've got here one of my favourite secret tips. It's liquid smoke, and it's exactly what it says on the bottom. When you open it, it is very strong and it tastes and smells like smoke. So it's almost as if you're cooking this dish as if it's in a tandoori or on a barbecue, and you get the lovely aromas of that char grilled taste. And those are the ingredients you're going to need for this dish. I've got my jointed chicken, and with a sharp knife what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some slits into the chicken. Now make sure the knife blade is away from your fingers. Put a few slits into the chicken and place into a large mixing bowl. With the chicken in the mixing bowl, I'm now going to add some of these lovely ingredients. Now with the lemon juice, you need about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Pour it over this chicken. Salt, approximately half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. Again, sprinkle it over the chicken. Black pepper, approximately a quarter a teaspoon of black pepper. Now chili powder, it's optional and it's up to you. Now tandoori chicken isn't a hot dish, so putting in like the normal sort of teaspoon that I would do, I've lessened it to just about a quarter a teaspoon of chili powder. The same goes with the turmeric, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric. And already I can smell those spices just hitting my nostrils. Now I'm going to put a quarter teaspoon of the cumin powder and of the garam masala. Now with the smoked paprika, you need at least 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. All that goes in, and into that about a tablespoon of oil. And just mix it all in. And as you're mixing, you can smell the aromas of those spices, and they are infusing into the chicken through those slits that you have made. We're going to the next step. Now what I've got here is the chicken in my mixing bowl. I've got my Greek yogurt, my chopped garlic and ginger, the coriander, the liquid smoke and the red food gel colouring. Like I said, a very, very simple recipe. So into this chicken I'm going to put approximately 200 to 250 mils of Greek yogurt. Throw in the ginger, throw in the garlic and only half of the coriander. into that I'm going to put 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of this red food gel colouring and about 1/2 teaspoon of the liquid smoke. Now, liquid smoke you can get at some supermarkets, but not all. It is easily available online. It is well worth getting if you want to. But if you don't have it, don't worry, because the smoked paprika actually gives you that slightly charcoal, subtle taste as well. So into that goes the liquid smoke. Now, it is powerful stuff, so just be very, very careful with it. Don't be tempted to put too much in. Now, with all those ingredients in that mixing bowl, I'm going to stir it and mix it all in. I've mixed all the ingredients in. Now, for those of you that have colour, it's a dusky pink colour. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this mixing bowl, put it into the fridge and let it marinate for at least 12 hours and up to 48 hours before cooking. I've had the chicken marinating for 48 hours and I've got a long baking tray in which I've placed a foil paper and I've very lightly oiled the foil paper. I've taken the chicken out of the marinade, put it on the foil paper, and what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of oil on top of the chicken, place it into an oven at 180 degrees. I've pulled the chicken out of the oven. It's been cooking at 180 degrees for about 35 minutes. I've turned the chicken over halfway through the cooking process. Now, if you go for a bigger joint of chicken, i.e. quarters or thighs, add on an extra 7 minutes. One of the questions I'm always asked is, being visually impaired, how can you tell when a meat is cooked? If you can't tell by texture and you don't have that experience or you don't have the confidence, I use this amazing gadget. It's a talking food thermometer, very easy to use. Just put it into the centre of the meat.
67.6 degrees Celsius. 67.6.
And there you go, perfectly cooked. Now you have a recipe for a great dish. But when you're in the kitchen, there are certain safety guides and rules that you should adhere to and which keeps you safe. Now, one of the things that I do before I start cooking is I make sure that I've got shoes on that are sturdy with good grips. I make sure that there's nothing on the floor that I can trip over and there are no spillages or liquid or condensation on the floor that makes it a bit of a hazard. Now, before cooking, the first thing that you do, as we all know, is wash our hands thoroughly. And especially when you're dealing with raw meat at every stage, wash your hands thoroughly. It stops cross-contamination. It keeps you and your family safe. When you're using the oven and the hob, know your oven and hob really well. Now, I use tactile markings so that I know exactly what temperature to put the oven on and what setting, so that I've not put the grill on when I should be putting the oven on. Now, with the hob, whenever you're sort of putting anything on the hob, make sure the handle is not sticking out. Now, I like to keep the handle at approximately 10 to 12. And the reason for that is it's not near enough to the unit for you to accidentally knock it off. It is not over another hob which may be on, so the handle's getting hot. So this is the safest position. Now, if you're boiling anything, be very, very careful. Don't fill the pan up too much. And if possible, use the boiler alert, which tells you when that liquid is bubbling away and it's hot and it keeps you safe. If you're not comfortable with the hob and the oven, use the microwave whenever you can. It's a lot safer. And every time you are taking things out of the oven or from the microwave, because remember, plates and dishes get extremely hot in the microwave, use oven gloves. Now, I like to use thermal oven gloves. They're a lot safer. Don't be tempted to use tea towels or anything else. And they literally go to extreme temperatures, so you're very safe with them. Whenever you cut any food in the kitchen, use safe cutting methods. Keep the blade away from your fingers, so set it a couple of millimeters away from your fingers, and that way you're safe all the time. Now, if you're not confident with a knife, you can use appliances like food processors. Make sure you know how they work properly, and keep safe. And if you're still not confident, ask somebody else to do it. It is better to be safe than have an injury. If you have any cuts or you cut yourself whilst you're in the kitchen, put a plaster on it, and if you have a burn, run it under cold water, and if it's bad, you seek medical advice straight away. Whenever you cook meat, always ensure that the meat is thoroughly cooked, because you know raw meat will give you food poisoning. Now, the best optimum temperature to cook meat is between 66 degrees and 73 degrees. Use a food thermometer if you're not too sure. They do have talking food thermometers, which you can get quite easily. And you store the meat as soon as you can. As soon as it's cooled down, store it straight away in the fridge and read the advice on storage on the labels.